So what does AOC have to say? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There are legitimate white supremacist sympathizers in the Republican caucus. If indeed these people in Congress are white supremacists, why not point them out? Tell the rest of us so we know that these people are evil. They can't move that quickly now, can they? No. They got to kind of warm you up. They got to knead the bread a little bit. Oh, yeah, there's all these white supremacists in Congress on the GOP side, see. And then they'll let that sit. And then when something comes up, it's like, yeah, you know, that border thing, we probably need to... See? What did I tell you? White supremacists right there. I told you Congress on the GOP side is filled with these evil people, didn't I? By the way, you're a terrorist if you disagree with illegal immigration. Just in case you were wondering, Representative yeah, that just happened. That's right. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accused Republican lawmakers of being racists. Really? Oh, we haven't heard that one. In fact, she claimed there are, quote, legitimate white supremacist sympathizers among the GOP House membership. She didn't mention the Senate. I guess she doesn't know anything about that. But I'm sure they're there, too. I mean, after all, they're Republican, aren't they? The socialist lawmaker made the comments during an appearance on MSNBC on Wednesday evening during a conversation about her experience with the U.S. Capitol riots. She previously stated that she chose to hunker down in a less safe area because the more secure area was occupied by those evil Nazi Republican lawmakers, of course. AOC intimated that she was too afraid to hide alongside GOP representatives because she supposedly believed they would harm her, since they are, after all, white supremacists and Nazis and various other icky things who hate brown people. Do you believe this? This is a sitting congresswoman in the United States Congress. I'm afraid to hang out with GOP people because they hate me because I'm brown and they're white supremacists. What are you talking about? In the interview, Ocasio-Cortez was asked about the work environment she is in as a U.S. representative and brought up the story of a person who called for her assassination, which is obviously wrong, to be denounced by everybody. Her response was pure AOC-style race baiting. I'll put the link. You can read the story. She began, of this term that we are now, a few weeks into this point, and that difference was that it really felt that, my God, whoa, holy smokes. The Republican caucus was one of extreme fealty to Donald Trump. Really, AOC? Like rats on a sinking ship, they've pretty much abandoned the Trumpster. Or didn't you get the memo? There were some that were true believers. Got to get the requisite Nazi terminology in there, don't we, AOC? Others that simply remained quiet, out of cowardice and out of fear of the president's retribution. But this term, there are legitimate white supremacist sympathizers that sit at the heart and at the core of the Republican caucus in the House of Representatives. Ocasio-Cortez then went after House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, white supremacy leaking out of the House Republican caucus. She said, and when you see someone like House Minority Leader McCarthy of the Republican Party, might as well just call them Nazis. Come on, AOC. Grow a set of balls. Just say what you think. When you see how McCarthy responded to white supremacist vitriol coming from his own members. Really? And again, this is how you redefine it. Well, what does that mean? Well, you're against an open border with Mexico. Obviously a white supremacist. And she does bring up Stephen King, who said some creepy shit, and the people of Iowa voted him out. She says McCarthy did not censure like they did with King, not being stripped of committees, not with any consequence. You have to wonder who actually has that power. And it increasingly seems, unfortunately, that in the House Republican caucus, Kevin McCarthy answers to these Q-tip members of Congress, not the other way around. And that is something that frankly needs to be said. Okay, who are these Q-tip members of Congress? Would like to know. Who are these people? The story continues. That's right. She pulled out the Q-tip rules the right card. The Q-tip alarmism has become one of the left's favorite tactics because they actually believe they can con the country into believing that this group of people who believe in ridiculous conspiracy theories, and they do, I actually went and looked it up, it's like, okay, whatevers, are somehow dominant in the conservative movement. Well, of course we are, right? We're all Q-tips today. We're all Nazis, we're all white supremacists, right, AOC? Well, of course, because I'm white and I voted for Trump. Let's change the definition of what things mean so we can include everybody we don't like. To prove her Q-tip theory, AOC brought up Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who previously filmed herself harassing Parkland shooting survivor David Hogg, intimating that the incident was a false flag. Greene also shot a video in which she claimed Muslim Americans shouldn't be allowed to serve in Congress. Of course, that's bullshit. Why? There must be something wrong with this. I don't know anything about her, but obviously that's ridiculous. Both statements were made before she took office. Ocasio-Cortez seemed to believe that McCarthy should have given her a stern talking to. Quote, but I've seen Kevin McCarthy pull someone aside before for a talking to, rather, and that representative that I last saw do that was Ted Yoho of Florida, the lawmaker claimed. And what McCarthy did was that he pulled him aside to essentially excuse his behavior to allow it to abet it. And actually, Kevin McCarthy's lack of holding his own caucus accountable is one major reason why I went to the floor last year to hold Yoho accountable myself. Now, I don't know who Yoho is, honestly. I don't know what he did. I'm sure it was nefarious and nasty. And tiki torches. Yeah, okay, got it. She continued, speculating that McCarthy would tell Greene to keep it up because there are not consequences in the Republican caucus for violence. There's no consequences for racism, no consequences for misogyny, and so on and so forth. Ocasio-Cortez ended her tirade by claiming that Republicans are using fealty to white supremacist organizations as a political tool. Now notice, we went from a couple of particular examples to Republicans. We all have fealty to white supremacist organizations. And that the GOP is, quote, no longer about a party of limited government. This is about something much more nefarious. Do these people live in reality? I mean, no one is going to deny there are some freaking nut jobs out there. Maybe this representative whatever is a freaking Q-tip. I don't know. She's up for re-election in, a year and a half? Throw her out. If the people of her district don't want her, toss her. It's just really that simple. Don't know about this Yoho guy of Florida. Don't know what he did. Not sure I really care. Because again, once you change the definition to include everyone that disagrees with your point of view, AOC, you're going to see a lot more white supremacists. You're going to see a lot more Q-tips. You're going to see a lot more whatever you want to see. Because your definition, of course, is vague. And it is fluid and expansive and can include just about anything. Isn't that convenient? Isn't it? James Maxwell, thank you for listening.